Hello, Journey of Discovery people, and namaste, and thank you so much for joining me again on this, my next vlog, possibly number 5 or number 6. And it's been a while since I've vlogged last, and that's because I've returned back to the Middle East here in Bahrain, and having to settle in and start building up my business here, and what it is I'm trying to explore and to offer to all people within this area. I haven't had the opportunity to vlog. But I'm back, and specifically here to start talking about continued new ideas that I'm exploring, that I'm discovering, that I'm helping to introduce other people to through our classes, through our workshops, and through our events. And interestingly, one of our most recent events, Exploring the Inner Child, is what I'd like to talk about today. And hope you find it interesting enough to want to explore some of these same ideas and concepts within your own life. So please hang in here. This video is not going to be too long, and I think you might find it interesting. So, exploring the inner child, accessing the inner child. What does that mean? It's the process of connecting with, understanding, embracing, and healing the inner child. The inner child is it's that original self that we entered this life with. Understanding that the inner child is that greater capacity for connecting with the moment, with innocence, with purity, with wonder in every moment, with playfulness and joy and passion and excitement. When you watch a child and you watch them playing with a box, with a simple little item, and they're in absolute wonder of it, in awe of the beauty of every moment, just curious about everything, and just totally covered in joy and bliss and wonder. That is the true capacity, that is the original self that we're trying to understand and to reconnect with. We live in a society today that suppresses this inner child within us as we continue to get older. What's the one saying that your parents always told you or tell you when you do something which they don't like or they consider too childish or childlike? They'll say, grow up. Grow up! Stop doing that, just grow up. And they try to force out this inner child within us. They just want us to become an adult. And what's fascinating about that is that most adults of today are so immature themselves, specifically when it comes to emotional and psychological maturity. In other words, most grown-ups aren't grown up at all. And it leaves most adults in a state of puerile fear, angers, and trauma. It's interesting to understand that most of our insecurities and our fears were first planted when we were a child. And sometimes it takes us having to go back and reconnecting with the inner child for us to truly start to dissolve these insecurities and these fears, because that's where they originated. To explore your inner child isn't about becoming childish. It's about reconnecting with that childlike wonder within you. And there's a difference. The childish side would be considered as something which is more akin to naivete or immaturity, whereas a childlike wonder is more about purity and innocence and a connection with this sense of wonder within a moment. We all have that capacity to reconnect with that original innocence, that sense of pure bliss and wonder that we had as a child. So I encourage you to start finding ways to reconnect with that side of yourself, that authentically innocent and pure and honest side of yourself. But I'm not just going to tell you to do that, I'm going to give you some ideas how you can do that. Take some time to be mindful and be aware of those moments when you feel this innate desire within yourself to do something childlike. And don't suppress that desire within yourself and say, I'm a grown-up, I don't do that anymore. Have fun. reconnect. Go play in the sand. Go jump on the swing and swing like a child. Go climb the tree. Go jump in the puddle of water sitting there on the pavement that's just calling out for you to jump in it, regardless of the fact that maybe you're going to wet your shoes. So what? Have some fun. Reconnect with those childlike moments by being mindful of when those moments come towards you, and then trusting and going with it. 2, look at a photo of yourself as you were as a child. That alone will remind you about the wondrous sensations of wonder, of joy, of passion that you had within yourself when you were a child. Just looking at that photo will remind you. Put it up somewhere, print it out, put it on your phone as your desktop, print it out, put it next to your bed when you wake up in the morning to remind you, I'm going to reconnect with that fun, loving side of me that I had when I was a child, when I cared less for the negative sides of the world and I was so excited about embracing everything. 3, recreate what you loved to do as a child. Take a moment, just think about it. Take a moment to think about, what did you love to do as a child? Me personally, man, I love to play Donkerkamer, which is basically translated means dark room, where we'd go into the room late at night, close the curtains, it would be pitch black, and we'd try to find a hiding place. And then our friend would have to come in without using any forms of additional lighting and try to find us within a designated time period. And if he couldn't, then we'd win the game and we get to hide again. I loved doing that. I loved creating games where people could play with me. That's why I loved doing treasure hunts and riddles and stuff like that. I loved doing stuff like that as a child. I loved filming as a child. I'd grab my dad's camera the moment he bought one back in the 90s and I'd film anything and everything. Guess what I'm doing now? I'm doing exactly that. Think about the things you loved to do as a child and start to reconnect with those things. Find a way to do them that might be considered a little bit more adult, but still childlike. 4, you can do inner journeys or visualizations or guided meditations to reconnect with your inner child. Something you can try to find your local spiritual guide, meditation facilitators such as myself and Majda, my co-facilitator, wherever you are in the world, or alternatively, you just go onto YouTube, type in inner child meditation, inner child visualization, and I'm sure there are countless of them out there on the World Wide Web. Try it out. You might find it's very relaxing and it's joyful and it reconnects you and reminds you about that stuff that you loved so much as a child. So that's it. I'm thinking this video is a lot shorter than my previous one, so hopefully you're able to stay for the duration of the video. Thank you for watching, and if you love this idea and this concept, please consider joining us for our next Exploring the Inner Child workshop, which we will be holding in about a month or so from this video, from when you see this video. And come join us wherever you are in the world. Come fly over if you can afford to. Alternatively, if you're in Bahrain or the Middle East area, come over. Join Majda and myself as we explore some deep explorative practices while also having fun and enjoying ourselves with lots of fun activities. Trust me, everyone is at the last one, thoroughly enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing so many more of you guys at the next one. Anyways, to make sure I keep this video down to 10 minutes, because I have a habit of ranting and rambling on, thank you for listening. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Follow me on Facebook, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks again, namaste, and toodaloo.